Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Fam, you know what? The system is collapsing. We look around and shit is just falling apart. And I hear a lot of people say, hey, Unc, you just talking, man. Well, man, everything is good. I don't see anybody going through anything. Nobody struggling, man. And I'm like, what the hell are you at? I'm looking around. There are people doing real good, but there are people who have a whole bunch of shit going on. See, that's the thing. We look at people and can't see problems, but these motherfuckers got problems. And you not realizing problems come in all sorts of things, from relationship, work, kids, health, every damn thing falls into play, man. See, and that's the thing that nobody looks at. Right now, I'm looking at the fact that a lot of people out here looking for work and they can't find it. You got brick and mortar basically non-existent anymore. It's going the way of the dinosaur. Think about it. You got restaurants out here like Wendy's, Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, and a lot more closing locations. And you thinking right now somebody will come up with an idea. Look, let's go back to the dollar menu. Let's bring, customers back in the store. Let's, have something for $1 on that menu. Bring people back in. But you're not bringing anybody in with like $40 damn value meals and shit like that. Nobody coming in there for that. Then you look at it just like this. Brick and mortar is basically dead. You go and look, you remember Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, and all these places. J.C. Penney's, Kohl's, and Target and Walmart. A lot of these places are closing locations, if not already closed. Some of them are already closed completely. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, brick and mortar has been down for years. Right now it's on life support because a lot of these places are in strip malls, and strip malls are dead. Even malls in general are dead. Nobody going into them. I've been pushing for a long time for us to actually do something, far as understanding what we need to do as people. And when I say people, I'm talking about people. Just, seeing where we need to be. Is anybody growing gardens? Is anybody trying to make their own way out of no way with, coming up with ideas for work, man? See, this is why I have these little brainstorming sessions with you all, finding other things to make income from, because again, bro, I can't make this stuff up. It's real out here right now, man. Every damn thing done went up. They talking about trying to put a cap on rent because these places got monopolies on certain buildings. Because you come to find out, there's certain companies that own a lot of the apartment buildings. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Dude, then you look at it just like this. You like, oh man, $3,000 for a 1-bedroom ain't bad. You like, wait, hold on. Like, who could afford that? What are wages to support that? Look at what's happening in Tampa, Florida. The biggest foreclosure rate in the U.S. right about now. Dude, that bubble bust. Remember back during the pandemic? Boy, it was before the pandemic, me and my wife was talking about moving there. And that was around about 2019. It was really nice. 1-bedroom, all the way up to a 2-bedroom. 1 bedroom was like 800, 2 was like 1,000. And I'm like, hell, that's doable. Okay, doable. Makes sense. So you get, during the pandemic, stuff started falling apart. People like, oh no, you didn't have to pay your rent in certain places. You got unemployment in certain places. And you was just living a dream. Sometimes dreams become nightmares. You okay? And sometimes dreams become nightmares. And I just want you to understand that when you sit here and think about everything that's going on, after the pandemic ended, we looked again at Tampa, Florida. It went from like $800 to $1,000 for a 1 and a 2-bedroom. Then it went from like $1,500 for a 1-bedroom and damn near $2,000 for a 2-bedroom. And I'm like, wait, what happened? What is actually happening? So you got a lot of people from places like New York and California who didn't want to live in those quarantine rules, moved to Florida where, it was basically, quarantines were non-existent, so you were able to go and walk about and do everything you wanted to do. Now you look at that situation and say, man, it's unlivable now, because a lot of people are leaving, fleeing Florida, going to Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi. And see, this is the issue with Mississippi right now in certain places, and Alabama, because they're talking about how the rent went up because people from Florida is moving there. See, that's what happens. People migrate from places when, shit get too high. And, Alabama and Mississippi, the minimum wage, and I always go by the minimum wage because I want you to understand, this is the minimum you could get here. Then you go from there. I want you to understand, not everybody get the same minimum wage, whereas in Chicago, it could be anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour. But when you get into certain places, it could be as low as $8 an hour. This is why I say you base it off the minimum wage and what you get because of the cost of living. So yeah, somebody moving there who making $20, $30 an hour and, they all buying these luxury apartments, getting these luxury apartments, everything gets different there. So I want you to think about all that, man. Florida is not the place anymore. Remember when they put Disney World or Disneyland in Florida, whichever one it is, it helped boost the economy because remember, Florida was a retirement state. It was populated by old folks. Nobody wanted to move to Florida. It was too damn hot. It flooded. You had hurricanes, tornadoes. You had all types of tropical storms. You had everything. People like, I don't want to go there. Now everybody want to go there because they built up clear water in Florida. They built up Tampa. They built up half of it. Yes, it's beautiful to visit. Expensive as hell to live in now. Look at Miami. Miami at one point in time was affordable. It was very expensive, but it was affordable. Now it's just unattainable, man. It's good to visit, and that's about it. Bro, I'm looking at all of this, and see, this is what I've been pushing to a lot of you all. It's crazy out here. Now in Florida, they got this thing where you have a, say for instance, you work with this company, and they have a non-compete offer, right? You signed it and every damn thing. It used to be, it was like 6 months to a year that you couldn't work in that field. Now, the governor signed it in, I think it was the mayor, the governor, one of them signed it into law without even a debate, whereas it's 5 years now. So you're stuck at this low-paying ass job and you can't leave. You see what I mean? You can't go to the same field at another company no more. See, this is what happens, man, when your politicians and other people don't have your best interest in mind. This shit was brung to them by a billionaire because he didn't want people to leave. And pay them more. People who are not going to want to work for you and they ain't making no damn money. It makes people now all of a sudden look at everything before they start signing stuff. Like when you used to go for a job, you used to just, sign an application and stuff. Now you got to fill out all these applications online. It ain't even fun no more. You got to fill it out online. Then all of a sudden, it don't save your information. It don't save the application. You've been doing this damn thing for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and all of a sudden it disappears. And you just sitting there mad as hell. This is what this society has come to. Whereas it's just pulling the rug from under you, man. These companies are failing left and right, and they telling you they're creating jobs. Job creation. Where at? Where are they creating jobs at? I know you're talking about in other countries, but where at in here are you creating jobs? Dude, I am at the point now where I'm just looking at it. This is why when I talk to you about layoffs and companies are letting people go, hell, I be looking. Because shit, man, it don't take a lot for somebody to get rid of you nowadays. And this is why I say you got to have something planned. You got to be able to be like, look, if this happened, we going to do this. I was telling my wife, I said, shit, maybe we leave the country, maybe we leave the state, whatever happens, bro, it happens. But we got to be on, the same page, bro. You can't stay somewhere where it's, I heard someone that once tell me, man, you can get a $3,000 mortgage, man. I said, I can't afford that. You know, you could get a $2,000 mortgage. I said, I wouldn't even want a $2,000 mortgage. You want a mortgage that you can pay by your damn self. Not, and I know y'all like, you can pay it yourself. Yeah, I can pay it myself, but damn, you want something where you can still do something. You know, I want something that me and my wife could do and be like, okay, because we split stuff like that. You don't want no damn mortgage where it's so damn high that if somebody lost their job, y'all up shit creek. I hear a lot of people nowadays are house poor. I see people now and I look at the house, man, I got me a house and I'm looking at the house shit falling apart. Oh man, don't look at that, man. I ain't got no money to get that fixed. Oh, but I got a house. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that, man. I don't want a house that I can't afford. I don't want a house that when stuff go wrong, I can't fix it, bro. Come on. Who want to live like that? Now they taking the cars away from you. Now these long ass notes they doing on cars now. Dude, they got damn near 10 years. You can pay off a car. Why? Why would I want to pay off a car for 10 years? So in your life, think about it. When you actually start buying cars, like 25? I'm talking about real talk, 25. Think about it. 25. The next car you get, 35. Next car you get, what? 45, 55, 65. Hell, 65 might be your last car. Think about it. That's 5 cars in that damn period. You probably can get cars before that, but see, the thing is, the notes that carry over. And the thing is, with them raising the mortgages to 50 years and car notes to like 10 years, they beating your ass in interest. That's all that's about. Dude, the car is only 40,000. I mean, we'll say the car is 50,000. By the time you're done, you done paid $150,000 on this car. Car's only 50. Damn home is only 300,000. You done paid 900,000. Why? Because the interest. You're not getting it. The interest is over years. And after a while, it start really, really pushing. This is why you got to pay something on, the interest and something on the principal, bro, because otherwise you ain't gonna never get that down. My wife was like, hey, we get a house. What we do, we'll pay the mortgage every 2 weeks. Half, say if the mortgage is, let's say the mortgage is $1,000, right? You pay $500 every 2 weeks. And you will get, 13 payments out of that year? How bad is that? My thing is sometimes you're not going to be able to double, a mortgage. Your mortgage $2,000. You ain't gonna be able to double $2,000 in a month for $4,000, but you may be able to throw an extra 500, extra 1,000 or something on there. Bro, this is why I say you got to get shit that's affordable to you. You got to stay in your range, your budget. See, this is what the society trying to get you to do. They trying to get you to live outside your means. Once you start living outside your means, you cannot afford to live. And see, this is where they get you at. You doing everything, to actually survive. See, that's not a good thing. See, if you live below your means, dude, I don't know. I live below my means. I know it looks like I live way above my means. I don't. I buy shit when I need it. I don't go spend excessively too much. I look at it just like this. You've been seeing an influx of a lot of toys, but this is a toy channel. At the end of the day, someone said, I don't see toys on your channel, bro. We should see toys on here, from time to time. So I'm showing you toys damn near every day. I don't want nobody ever to say, well, he said it was this, and I don't see none of that. No, this is what this is. I got to keep it pushing, and I got to keep it a bean. I got to keep it 100, man. I'm looking at it out here like, man, think about it. TSA, the government shut down, all that stuff opened back up, whereas these people got paid for their jobs, and they getting back pay. And you say they don't deserve back pay, they're just sitting around. No, people got jobs. You got to do a certain job. Everybody got a job to do. And your job is to do your job, not every damn body else's. This is why people are doing it. If you got to wait at the airport, like when the airplane docks and people are about to get off the plane and you see all those people waiting there with what you call that? Wheelchairs. Because people need the wheelchairs when they get off. That's their job. Why are you mad at people for doing their damn job? People just sitting around. Yeah, they sitting around at one point in time. They weren't getting paid. You know, you mad because shit ain't getting, working the way you want it to, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. When I was talking to people about airplanes charging bigger people extra seat prices, and people like, oh, see, you playing the victim in this, and no, that ain't playing the damn victim, bro. The seats are getting fucking smaller. You haven't seen the report, bro? I done flew planes many damn times. Seats are getting a lot smaller. A lot of people are talking about that. But people don't see that. Oh, they can make the seats as small as they want to. Bro, who the hell gonna fly on them? This is the thing. See, when you do that, the shit is uncomfortable. You want to be able to be on a flight and be comfortable. See, that ain't what people thinking about. People thinking, oh man, I just want to do this, this, and this. This is why I've been pushing for the longest. For us to come together and actually look at things properly, man. This is why they get us so easy, man, because we scared to stick together. We scared to talk to one another. We scared that, we going to hurt somebody feeling out here, man. Look, I'm going to tell you something. When I talk to you about these restaurants and their prices, it's not me being crazy. When I tell you that Walgreens are not paying their hourly employees no more vacation time and shit like that, and people like, oh, man, I wasn't getting vacation time. But see, that was part of their package. If that's part of their package and you taking it away, yeah, that's a lot of damn things that you're taking away. Like, you got people who work in construction. During construction season, they work their ass off. During winter, they don't work. They get, unemployment. Just imagine if they took the unemployment away when you didn't work. You see what I mean? It'd be a whole lot of shit. We don't see other people problems. We try to say, well, everything, man, that people are going through right now, we should be paying attention to. Dude, it's a lot of shit to pay attention to. Why you think these people out here rioting and losing their damn mind, going crazy, marching and shit? Dude, shit ain't gonna get better unless you do something. And plus, all these non-violent movements back in the day, people were getting their ass killed. People like, but look at Dr. King's movement. He taught you not to fight back. Those people were getting killed. They were getting lynched. They were getting killed. They were getting raped. They were getting cooked on skewers, bro. I'm trying to understand what people didn't understand about this. They were getting dog sicked on them. See, a lot of people make it seem like a lot of this stuff was, some big situation where shit just, where people just got mad at stuff, man. Movements now, man, you need to have those people who are ready to do what they should do, just in case shit jump off. You should be able to defend yourself. Somebody coming at you, throwing rocks at you, hitting you, you should be able to fight their ass back. You ain't wrong. If you hit me, I can hit your ass back. That's how this works. That's what you call protecting yourself, man. Self-defense. You ain't hurting nobody. Y'all just marching down the street and people start throwing rocks at you. You get your ass whooped, now all of a sudden you hollering and screaming. Come on, man. I'm looking at everything, and I want you to look at it. Think about it. The only party that was formed by a black organization was the Black Panther movement. The civil rights movement was started by a white guy, a billionaire white guy. Nation of Islam was started by a billionaire white group. Black Lives Matter was funded by a billionaire. Dude, every movement that you thought of that was black, or these black colleges, there's no black colleges. They all owned by rich white people who use their wives' name. Think about it, Howard, Morehouse, and all of them. Those are names of what? Those the maiden names of billionaires' wives. And you sitting there thinking to yourself like, oh man, dude, a lot of times you don't see this shit. See, the things that you think. And a lot of people be hollering at me like, oh man, we got black banks in the neighborhood, but they don't lend to black people. They lend to white people. How the fuck is that? You're a black-owned bank, but you don't lend to black people. You taking black money and lending it to other people of other, man, come on. See, this is the okie doke. See, this is what's happening. You know, I remember back in the day, back in like the 1800s, early 1900s, it was a bank that, was saying that, they would take black people money and you'd be able to deposit it in the bank because black people weren't able to deposit their money. So these people were depositing money into this bank, and this bank ended up stealing all their money. Bro, I'm going to tell you something. If you good doing what you do it. There are a lot of instances in history, man, where, shit seems one way. There are secret societies out here that run this world, man. And if you look at it, you sit there and you understand. How do you take out a billionaire on an airplane? How do you make somebody sound crazy? You say they hung themselves. They were suicidal. You got a person who ain't even suicidal who's suicidal. How does that make sense? I want you to think about all this stuff, man. The government is not our friend, bro. It's our enemy. And the thing is, everybody don't want to do shit because they don't want to rock the boat. When shit gets bad, that's when everybody want to act. How that works. Man, but with that being said, I went too long. Thank you for watching. Peace out.